Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're looking at AXISCADES Technologies Limited. They're an Indian engineering company,
Okay.
and they're doing some really interesting high-tech work.
Wow.
We've got their financials, presentations, all sorts of stuff,
Cool.
and we're going to really dig into it. One of the things that really stood out to me
Yeah.
was this really interesting blend of industries they're involved in. So aerospace, defense, electronics, AI, all
Interesting.
kinds of really interesting stuff.
It is quite a mix.
It is a mix, yeah.
Yeah. When you look at their recent performance, it's really impressive. Their Q3 FY25 financials show 18.4% year-on-year revenue growth. EBITDA is up like 21.7% from the previous quarter.
Wow.
And profit after tax, well, it's jumped up substantially.
Those are some big numbers,
They are.
I gotta say. I'm not a financial expert, so can you break it down for me?
Sure.
What does all that actually mean for the company's health?
Right. So all of that basically means that AXISCADES is doing very well. Revenue growth means they're getting more business.
Uh-huh.
The EBITDA jump, and EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
Okay.
That basically means that their core operations are becoming much more profitable.
Makes sense.
And then the increase in profit after tax, well, that's the bottom line, you know? It shows how well they're actually converting their revenue into real profit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now, here's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
They divide their business into what they call core and non-core domains.
Okay.
Their core areas are aerospace, defense, ECI,
You say I.
yeah, that stands for electronic, semiconductor, and AI.
Oh, wow.
All of that. Those core domains contribute 72% of their revenue.
Okay.
But here's the really crazy thing.
What's that?
They generate 99% of the company's EBITDA.
99%. That's incredible.
99%.
Yeah.
That's almost all of it.
Yeah.
It really shows how much more profitable their core operations are.
Right.
But then you got to wonder about the non-core stuff, right?
Yeah.
The heavy engineering, automotive, and energy. Why is there such a huge difference?
That is a really good question. And it looks like they're trying to address that. While their non-core domains do bring in a decent chunk of revenue,
Right.
they're just not as profitable as their core.
Yeah.
It could be because those industries just have tighter margins,
Okay.
or maybe there's more competition.
Sure.
AXISCADES has said in their reports that they're planning to kind of like recalibrate their non-core activities,
Right.
boost the profitability.
Right. Try to bring them up.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely seems like they're really focused on those high-tech core areas.
Definitely.
And speaking of focus, they have laid out some pretty ambitious growth plans,
Okay.
particularly in those core domains. They're aiming for, get this, over 50% revenue growth
Wow.
and a 300 basis points improvement in their EBITDA margins in the next fiscal year,
That's ambitious.
FY26. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you help me understand the significance of that 300 basis points improvement?
Yeah, sure. So basically a basis point is just 1/100%.
Okay.
So when they say a 300 basis point improvement, they're talking about a 3 percentage point increase
Oh, wait.
in their EBITDA margin.
Gotcha.
So let's say their current EBITDA margin is 10%. They want to bump that up to 13%.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
It really shows how confident they are in the future of these high-tech sectors
Yeah.
and that they really want to be a major player.
Okay, so they're not just talking, they're actually putting their money where their mouth is,
They are.
investing a lot in infrastructure to support all this growth.
Right.
One of the things they're doing is building a brand new 180,000 square foot facility
Wow.
near the Bangalore International Airport,
Okay.
BLEL.
Yeah.
This facility is going to be dedicated to aerospace and ESI.
So all the cutting edge stuff?
All the cutting edge stuff. They're putting in research labs, testing facilities,
It sounds like they're going all out.
all the bells and whistles, yeah.
Yep.
It's really a sign that they're serious about this. They are.
They're pushing the boundaries
Yeah.
in electronics, semiconductors, AI.
Absolutely. It's like they're creating a hub for innovation in those fields.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting stuff.
It is exciting, but they're not stopping there.
Oh, what else?
They're also giving their Electronic City facility a major makeover.
Yeah.
They're turning it into a global capability center. It's going to be focused on unmanned warfare.
Unmanned warfare.
We're talking drone hangars,
Wow.
counter-drone technology, radar systems. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It really does.
This investment really highlights how important unmanned systems are becoming.
It does.
Not just in defense, but also civilian application.
Yeah, that's a smart move by them.
It is.
To really put themselves at the forefront of this rapidly evolving field.
Exactly. Now, there's one more piece to this infrastructure puzzle that we haven't talked about yet.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready for it?
I am.
You know what it is, right?
Yeah, I think so. The Atmanirbar Defense and Aerospace Cluster.
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
Yeah.
I know.
But it sounds important.
It is important.
Okay.
What they're doing is they're essentially creating this whole ecosystem near the KIEDB Aerospace SEZ. That's the Karnataka Industrial Areas Development Board.
Okay.
And it's all geared towards receiving foreign aerospace and defense companies.
So it's about bringing in more collaboration.
It's more than just a facility, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about fostering collaboration, innovation, and boosting India's role in the global market.
It's a big statement.
It is. It really shows their commitment to India's self-reliance in these critical sectors. They're not just looking out for themselves. They're working towards this bigger goal of national technological advancement.
And to achieve all that, they'll need a strong team.
They will, and they have one.
Oh.
Their leadership team has a combined 75 years of experience.
Wow, that's a lot.
Just between the chairman and CEO.
Yeah.
And then their teams bring over 6,000 man-years.
Wow.
Of expertise across all three core domains. Aerospace, defense, ESI. That's a lot of brain power in one company.
It is. I mean, in a field like this that's so complex and constantly changing, having a seasoned team is really crucial.
It is.
Sounds like they've got that covered.
They do, and they've actually taken it a step further. They've put together this board of advisors.
Oh, okay.
It's like a who's who of the industry.
Wow. So tell me about this board.
All right, so for aerospace, they've got Yves Guillaume. He's a veteran of Airbus.
The Airbus. That's a big name.
It is a big name.
Wow.
For ESA, they've got Nick Santhanem. He's a former McKinsey senior partner.
Okay.
Lots of experience in semiconductors and industrials.
Impressive.
And then for defense, they've got Colonel K.V. Kuber. This guy actually helped shape India's defense offset policies.
They really did their homework.
They did. What's really striking is the depth of experience that this board brings.
It is.
They're not just there for show. They're actively involved in guiding the company.
It's great.
All right, so we've covered their performance, their plans, their investments in infrastructure and people.
A lot to unpack.
It is a lot. Let's dig a little deeper into their strategic roadmap.
Okay.
They want to become what they call a product-driven, nonlinear technology company.
Nonlinear, what does that even mean?
It's a mouthful. What it means is they're shifting from mainly providing services to developing and selling their own products and solutions.
Oh, I see.
Nonlinear growth basically means their revenue isn't just going to depend on scaling up their workforce or just offering more services. They're creating intellectual property, proprietary offerings that can scale much faster.
So they're aiming to be more innovative.
Yeah. Exactly. They want to control their own destiny.
Makes sense. So what kind of products are we talking about here?
Good question. They've highlighted a few key areas.
Right.
In aerospace, they're really interested in AI-enabled maintenance, repair, and overhaul, or MRO.
AI-enabled MRO. What does that look like?
So imagine AI optimizing aircraft maintenance.
Okay.
Maybe even predicting when maintenance needs to happen.
Oh, wow.
Leading to more efficient operations and potentially even preventing major problems.
That would be amazing.
That's the kind of revolution AI-enabled MRO could bring.
I see.
On top of that, they're getting into customizing aircraft interiors.
Oh, interesting.
Things like aircraft conversion and interior design.
So they're really diversifying.
They are. And then in defense, their big focus is on unmanned warfare systems.
Of course, that's a huge growth area.
It is. Think drones, counter-drone technology, autonomous systems.
Makes sense.
They're also developing strategic RF products.
RF products.
RF stands for radio frequency. These products use radio waves for all sorts of things.
Like what?
Communications, radar, even electronic warfare.
Oh, wow.
They're essential for any modern defense system.
I see.
And to top it off, they're looking for partners.
Partners.
Foreign original equipment manufacturers.
Okay.
OEMs.
Yeah.
This lets them take advantage of India's offset policies, which encourage collaboration and technology transfer with these global players.
Smart.
So they're trying to become a one-stop shop
for
unmanned systems.
Ambitious.
From design to manufacturing to maintenance.
Yeah. What about ESAI? What are they up to in that area?
ESAI, they're focusing on the post-silicon chip-to-product segment.
Post-silicon chip to product. That sounds interesting. Can you explain that a little more?
Sure. So basically, it means taking those semiconductor chips and building them into a finished product.
All right.
That includes design, development, testing, manufacturing, the whole shebang.
So they're not just designing the chip itself?
No.
They're making the whole system around it.
Exactly. They're looking at cutting-edge tech like AI and SLM. Selective laser melting.
Oh, cool.
For creating these innovative devices.
Wow, they're not messing around.
Nope. They're also focused on box build and batch production.
Box build? What's that?
So box build is basically the final step in manufacturing.
Okay.
Where all the components, including the electronics, get put together into the final product.
Got it.
It's like putting all the pieces of a puzzle together.
That makes sense.
They're scaling up your manufacturing to meet the growing demand.
So we've got AI-powered aircraft maintenance, cutting-edge unmanned systems, and next-generation electronic devices. It sounds like AXISCADES is trying to shape the future of these industries?
They are. But with such big goals, do you see any potential roadblocks for them?
It's a good question. I mean, their plans are really impressive.
They are.
But they're in some tough industries.
Yeah.
Lots of competition.
Right.
Technology's always changing.
Right.
They need to keep up with that.
Yeah.
They need to attract and keep the best people, and they have to manage their growth well.
That's a lot to handle.
It is. Plus, there's always things like geopolitics, the global economy, supply chain problems.
Right.
All that can throw a wrench in things.
Those are all really good points. We need to keep the big picture in mind.
Definitely.
And be aware of those potential challenges.
Absolutely.
But from what we've seen so far, AXISCADES doesn't seem afraid to take risks.
It seems that way.
And they're definitely pushing boundaries.
They are.
Their focus on innovation and their willingness to invest in the future is commendable.
It really is. It's impressive to see an Indian company doing so well in these cutting-edge fields.
It is.
Yeah.
But let's think about this for a second from the average person's perspective.
Okay.
Why should we care about AXISCADES' success?
That's a great question. I think AXISCADES' success isn't just about their own profits.
Okay.
It's a sign of how much India's technology sector is growing.
Right.
And that has a big impact on the whole country's economy. And it boosts India's standing globally.
So it's bigger than just one company.
It is.
It's about India becoming a technological powerhouse.
Exactly.
Can you give us some specific examples of how their work might impact everyday life?
Sure. Just imagine a future where you're getting a package delivered by a drone, designed and built in India.
Wow.
Or picture AI systems making air travel safer and more efficient.
That would be great.
Or think about sophisticated electronic devices developed in India that are being used all over the world.
Okay, so that's the kind of impact AXISCADES could have.
Exactly.
It's an exciting vision.
It is.
What about for people who might be interested in investing?
Yeah.
What does all this mean for them?
Well, AXISCADES has great financials, ambitious plans.
Yeah.
They're a company to watch.
Definitely.
They're focused on high-growth areas.
Right.
They're committed to innovation.
Yeah.
It all suggests they have the potential for strong returns.
So whether you're interested in technology or in India's economic growth or you're looking for investment opportunities, AXISCADES is a company to keep an eye on.
Absolutely.
Let's zoom out even further.
Okay.
Think about the bigger implications of their work, particularly in aerospace and defense.
Right.
How might this affect India's role on the global stage?
Well, their focus on those sectors definitely aligns with India's goals of becoming a major player in the global aerospace and defense industry.
They're not just building products. They're helping India become more self-reliant.
That's right.
Less dependent on other countries.
Exactly.
And they're pushing the boundaries in areas like AI and unmanned systems.
They are. They're really pushing the envelope.
Which could put India right at the forefront
of
these rapidly changing fields.
It's impressive.
It is. What do you think about the role AXISCADES might play in shaping India's future in these sectors?
I think they have the potential to be a real driving force for both growth and innovation.
Yeah.
They're focused on developing and manufacturing things in India.
Right.
They've got strategic partnerships. They're investing in cutting-edge tech.
Right.
All of that could make India a global leader in aerospace and defense.
It's really inspiring to see a company like this paving the way.
It's for technological advancement and helping India grow its global presence.
Absolutely.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Wow.
From their financial performance and growth plans
Right.
to their investments and their cutting-edge technologies.
A lot to take in.
It is. As we wrap up,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
Considering their focus on AI and unmanned systems and their commitment to India's self-reliance, how do you think AXISCADES' work might affect not just India's economy, but also its national security and its strategic capabilities in the future?
That's a big question.
It is a big question.
Yeah.
It's something to really ponder.
It is.
We want to hear your thoughts.
I'm curious to know what people think.
So, folks, there you have it. Our deep dive into AXISCADES Technologies Limited.
A fascinating company.
They're not just riding the wave of technology.
Wow.
They're shaping it.
Definitely.
What stood out to you in this deep dive?
Yeah. What are your takeaways? What do you think the future holds for AXISCADES?
Let us know.
Let us know. We'd love to hear your insights.
We would.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep learning.
And keep diving deep.
It is a rather long name.
It is.
But it represents a pretty big ambition.
Okay.
What they're doing is creating a whole ecosystem near the KIADB Aerospace SEZ.
A what?
The KIADB Aerospace SEZ, that's the Karnataka Industrial Areas Development Board.
Okay.
And it's going to cater to foreign aerospace and defense companies.
So it's not just about building a facility.
Yeah, no.
It's about creating a whole...
It's about fostering collaboration, innovation, and boosting India's role in the global market.
Okay, so this cluster is a big deal.
It is.
It shows how committed AXISCADES is to India's self-reliance.
Exactly.
In these really important sectors.
And to achieve all that, you need a good team.
Right, and they've got one.
Oh, they do?
Their leadership has a combined 75 years of experience between the chairman and CEO. And then on top of that, their teams have over 6,000 man-years of expertise.
That's incredible.
Across all three core domains: aerospace, defense, ESAI.
That's a lot of experience in one company.
It is. And in a field as complex as this one,
right,
that's constantly changing.
Yeah.
Having a team with that kind of experience is crucial.
Yeah, it is.
And they haven't stopped there.
No.
They've also put together a board of advisors.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it's an impressive group.
All right, tell me about it.
So for aerospace, they've got Yves Guillaume.
Oh, okay.
He's a veteran of Airbus.
Airbus, wow.
Then for ESAI, they've got Nick Santhanam.
Okay.
He's a former McKinsey senior partner.
McKinsey, that's impressive.
Lots of experience in semiconductors and industrials.
They really went all out with this board.
They did. And for defense, they've got Colonel K.V. Kuber.
Right.
And get this, he actually helped shape India's defense offset policies.
Wow.
What's really amazing about this board is the depth of experience they have.
Yeah.
They're not just figureheads.
Right, they're actually involved.
They're actively involved in guiding the company.
That's fantastic.
So we've talked about their performance, their plans, their investments.
It's a lot to cover.
It is. But let's dig a little deeper into their strategic roadmap.
Okay.
AXISCADES wants to become what they call a product-driven, non-linear technology company.
Non-linear, what does that even mean?
It's a mouthful, I know.
It is.
Basically, it means they're shifting from mainly providing services to developing and selling their own products and solutions.
So they want to be more than just a service provider.
Exactly. Non-linear growth means their revenue won't just depend on scaling up their workforce.
Okay, I get it.
Or offering more services.
So they're trying to create intellectual property.
Yes.
Proprietary offerings.
Things that can scale much faster.
Interesting.
So they want to control their own destiny.
Makes sense. So what kind of products are we talking about here?
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
In their presentations, they highlight a few key areas.
All right, let's hear it.
In aerospace, they're looking at AI-enabled maintenance, repair, and overhaul, MRO.
AI-enabled MRO. What does that even look like?
Imagine AI optimizing aircraft maintenance.
Okay.
Maybe even predicting when maintenance needs to happen.
Wow, that's cool.
This could lead to more efficient operations.
Yeah.
And it could even prevent major problems.
That's amazing.
That's the kind of revolution AI-enabled MRO could bring.
I see.
They're also getting into customizing aircraft interiors.
Oh, really?
Things like aircraft conversion and interior design.
Interesting. So they're diversifying their offerings.
They are. Now, in defense, their big focus is on unmanned warfare systems.
Of course. That's a huge growth area.
It is. Think drones, counter-drone technology, autonomous systems.
Makes sense.
They're also developing strategic RF products.
RF product.
Yeah, RF stands for radio frequency.
Okay.
These products use radio waves for all sorts of things.
Like what?
Communications, radar, even electronic warfare.
Wow.
They're crucial for modern defense systems.
I see.
And on top of that, they're actively seeking partnerships with foreign original equipment manufacturers.
OEMs.
OEMs, exactly. This allows them to leverage India's offset policies, which encourage collaboration and technology transfer with global players.
That's a smart move.
It is. So they're trying to become a one-stop shop for unmanned systems.
Wow.
From design and manufacturing to maintenance and support.
That's ambitious.
It is. What about ESAI?
Yeah, what's happening there?
In ESAI, they're focused on the post-silicon chip-to-product segment.
Post-silicon chip-to-product. That sounds interesting. Can you explain that a little more?
Sure. It means taking those semiconductor chips and building them into a finished product.
Right.
That includes everything from design and development to testing and manufacturing.
So they're not just designing the chips, they're creating the whole system.
Exactly. If the chip is the brain, they're building the whole body around it.
Interesting. And how are they doing that?
They're looking at all sorts of cutting-edge technologies like AI and SLM, selective laser melting.
Oh, cool.
And they're focused on box build and batch production.
Box build, what's that?
Box build is the final stage of manufacturing where all the components are put together into the finished product.
I see.
It's like putting all the pieces of a puzzle together.
That makes sense.
So they're scaling up their manufacturing capabilities to meet the growing demand.
So to sum it up, we've got AI-powered aircraft maintenance, cutting-edge unmanned systems, and next-generation electronic devices. It sounds like AXISCADES is really trying to shape the future of these industries.
They are. But with such ambitious goals, are there any potential challenges or roadblocks they might face?
That's a good question. While their plans are impressive, these are highly competitive industries.
They are.
And technology is always changing.
It is.
They need to keep up with those advancements.
Yeah.
They need to attract and keep the best talent.
Right.
And they have to manage their growth effectively.
That's a lot to handle.
It is. And then there are always external factors like geopolitics, the global economy, potential supply chain disruptions.
All very real concerns.
Absolutely.
But from what we've seen, AXISCADES seems like a company that's not afraid of taking risks.
It seems that way.
And pushing boundaries.
Definitely.
Their focus on innovation and their willingness to invest in the future is impressive.
It really is. It's great to see an Indian company doing so well in these cutting-edge fields.
It really is impressive to see this happening in India.
Yeah, it is.
But let's step back for a minute and think about what this means for the average person.
Okay.
Why should we care about AXISCADES?
That's a good question. I think their success goes beyond just their profits.
Okay.
It shows how much India's technology sector is growing as a whole, which is good for India's economy, and it helps raise India's profile on the global stage.
So it's about more than just one company's success.
Exactly.
It's about India becoming a major player in technology. Can you give us a sense of how their work could actually impact people's lives?
Sure. Think about a future where drones deliver your packages, and those drones were designed and built in India.
Wow.
Or think about AI systems making air travel safer and more efficient.
That would be great.
Or imagine using sophisticated electronic devices made in India all over the world.
Okay, so that's the kind of impact AXISCADES could have.
Yeah, that's the kind of potential we're talking about.
It's exciting to think about.
It is. And for anyone interested in investing, AXISCADES is definitely a company to watch.
So their performance, their plans, it all sounds promising for investors.
It does. They're focused on industries that are expected to grow a lot.
Right.
Plus, they're clearly committed to innovation.
Yeah.
All of that points to the potential for strong returns in the long run.
Okay, so whether you're excited about technology, interested in India's growth, or looking for investment opportunities, AXISCADES is worth keeping an eye on.
Definitely.
Now let's zoom out even further. Think about their work in aerospace and defense.
Right.
How could this impact India's role globally?
Well, their focus on those areas definitely aligns with India's ambitions to become a bigger player in the global aerospace and defense industry.
They're not just building products, they're contributing to India's self-reliance.
Exactly.
Which means India would be less dependent on other countries.
Right.
And with their focus on AI and unmanned systems, they're really pushing the limits of what's possible.
They are. They're pushing India to the forefront of these cutting-edge fields.
It's pretty amazing to see.
It is.
What do you think about the role AXISCADES could play in shaping India's future in these areas?
I think they could be a real catalyst for growth and innovation.
Yeah.
They're focused on developing and making things in India. They
Hmm.
have those strategic partnerships. They're investing in advanced technologies.
Oh.
All of that could really help India become a global leader in aerospace and defense.
It's inspiring to see a company like this leading the way
It
and helping India grow its presence on the world stage.
definitely.
We've covered a lot in this deep dive,
We have.
from AXISCADES financials and their ambitious plans
Yeah.
to their investments in infrastructure and cutting-edge technologies.
It's a fascinating story.
It is. As we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
Okay.
AXISCADES is really focused on AI and unmanned systems,
They are.
and they're committed to India becoming more self-reliant in these areas.
Right.
How do you think their work could impact not just India's economy, but also its national security and its strategic capabilities in the future?
That's a big question.
It is, and it's one worth thinking about.
Definitely. It's clear that AXISCADES isn't just building a business.
Right.
They're building a future,
Yeah.
both for themselves and for India.
And their story is a great example of what can be achieved with innovation, a clear vision, and a commitment to pushing boundaries.
Couldn't agree more.
So, folks, that's our deep dive into AXISCADES Technologies Limited.
A company that's shaping the future of technology.
They're not just riding the wave, they're creating it.
That's a great way to put it.
What are your takeaways from this deep dive? What do you think the future holds for AXISCADES? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.